Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dan from Dan's Reviews, and today we're going to be doing another Season 4 Walking Dead review. This is for Season 4, Episode 3, called Isolation. Wow, this was a great episode for The Walking Dead Season 4. When I think of The Walking Dead Season 4, I honestly, these are the episodes I think of. I think of the finale, Too Far Gone, and honestly this one. This one is amazing in my opinion. This is my favorite episode from the 5-episode set, I want to call it, where we have the illness. This is honestly my favorite one. A lot of people like Interment better. This one, I was like, wow, the entire time. Yes, Interment was amazing, but I love this episode so much. It's amazing to me. But this episode really made me realize that Season 4, even though so far at this point in the season, in Episode 3, the first 3 episodes barely covers any comic book, content. Yeah, but to be honest, the pacing does not matter in Season 4. Season 4 is great for what they bring in that is not from the comics. And honestly, that is where Season 4 shines, is the parts that are not from the comics. And that is something interesting. So, okay, now I would have to say that this episode has one of the best intros. I love the intro. First you have Maggie and Glenn who are digging the graves, but then you have the fight between Rick and Tyreese, which is amazing as well. But before we get into all of that, let's do our regular routine. Who is my favorite character from this episode? I'm gonna have to pick Tyreese. Just because of everything he did in this episode, the fight with Rick, and him going crazy, almost not surviving the walkers, and I love Tyreese in this episode. Rick was great as well too, though. And then also my favorite walker kill from this episode would have to be the one where we see, well, it's kind of a lot of walker kills, but when you just see Tyreese going at it with the hammer, oh man, that was exciting. Also, because I didn't know if he was going to survive or not. I honestly didn't know, so that was exciting. But let's get into the episode. So we got Maggie and Glenn burying the bodies, as I said. Then we also got Rick, Carol, Darryl, and Tyreese looking at the burnt bodies of Karen and David. Then Rick's like, she wouldn't want you being like this, and that kind of gets Tyreese a little mad. And then he punches Rick in the face once, and he punches him again, and then Rick kind of has enough of it, and he starts beating up Tyreese, and Rick just doesn't stop until Darryl kind of grabs him, right, and he's like, let go of me, let go of me, Darryl's like, man, you're losing it, come on, just get away from him. And Carol's just losing her mind, and I'm like, honestly, when I saw this first viewing, I'm like, I wouldn't think at all that it was her that killed Karen and David, like, when you look at her, she looks so innocent, it's kind of insane, but anyway, really great stuff there at the beginning. I really enjoyed that intro a lot. So then after the credits, we have Herschel, who's wrapping Rick's hand. We have Tyreese that's going crazy, digging in the ground. You got Bob, who's talking to him. And then you also got Rick kind of going to apologize. And Rick's like, whoever it is, we'll find him, we'll find him, is basically what he's saying. So, Tyreese is also kind of still mad though, but he understands what Rick's saying. He's like, how about you just go do your farming? I'll take care of what actually matters. And I'm like, oh, that's cold. But anyway, so that's that. So then we get Carol and Rick, who are getting some water ready, putting them in buckets, whatever. But then you got the exciting stuff where you have Glenn, who's kind of starting to act funny during the they're in there, they're talking about what are they going to do, Herschel, Michonne, Darryl, and some others talking about how they're going to go out on a run, Darryl, Michonne, Bob, and all that kind of stuff, but the thing they don't actually, know is that Bob's coming and Tyreese is coming as well, because they need the extra hands, right? So, basically, we have, Darryl who's saying, I'll go, and Herschel's like, you stay back here, also, I like when Herschel tells Michonne, because Michonne says, I'll go as well, and, Herschel's like, you sure about that? Like Darryl's, whatever, I forget what he says, and she's like, he's already given me fleas, so, that's cool, but, anyway, so really, really, great, first little part of the episode. Then we get into the later part where we have, like I said, Glenn's acting funny, and then you just get the huge reveal out of nowhere that when he tells Maggie he has it. I'm like, oh no. And honestly, I thought that they might kill Glenn at this point because I'm like, well, this illness has to have a big death somewhere. It didn't. That's the only disappointment about the illness. But when I saw Glenn had it, I'm like, oh no, are they going to kill Glenn? I honestly didn't think he was going to survive it, to be honest. But still, cool. So, yeah, that was a huge reveal. We got Herschel taking care of him later. But then you got Darryl, Michonne, Bob, and then Tyreese joins up with them. And you also have Sasha who has it. And she's like, Dr. S, and you have Tyreese saying, I won't be gone long, all that kind of stuff. So then they drive off to go get the medicine and all that kind of stuff, everything necessary. And you have, the Terminus, which is really cool. Those who arrive survive, and they're like, what? What's this? Then Darryl has trouble controlling the wheel, and then he runs into this huge mountain full of zombies, like probably one of the biggest herds in The Walking Dead, and that is what impressed me with this episode. It was already good, but then when you see that, oh man, they go out and you have the car spinning the walker bodies, and then they just get out, they start fighting their way through, and then everybody goes into the woods, but then Tyreese goes, and I like when Bob turns around, he's like, Ty! And Tyreese is just going at it, but you think that's his death right there, but it's actually not. And that's honestly one of the reasons why I don't like his death in Season 5, because it's inconsistent with the Tyreese here. It's I don't like it. I never liked Tyrese's death. I like the hallucinations, but I didn't like how he died. I thought that was a little weak, to be honest. But still, still a great moment. So they go into the woods, then they run into Tyreese after a while, and they're kind of like surprised to see him. They're like, what? And then you have just scenes. I like it too, because it's like near the end of the episode at this point. You already have all this awesome stuff going on. I'm like, how are they going to wrap up this episode? And they wrap it up in like the best way they could, where they have Rick, he's like, he sees Carol outside the gates, he goes to save her, she starts killing walkers, and Rick's like, what are you doing? And then you have at the end, Rick he's finding clues he's going through the prison looking for clues, and at the end, and he's a cop too, so he almost knows, but he asks anyway. He's like, Carol, did you kill Karen and David? And she's like, yes. And then you just see this scared Rick face, like he's like, oh god. He doesn't want to send her away, but he almost knows at that point that he has to, because otherwise Tyreese, I don't want to go further, but Tyreese is in the mix, so yeah. But this was a fantastic episode for The Walking Dead, 10 out of 10. Huge walker herd, huge fight between Rick and Tyreese. Not as good as the comics, but still loved it. And then you have a huge reveal that Carol killed Karen and David. Some great moments where they're just killing zombies. Tyreese almost dying, him going insane. Glenn, who tells Maggie that he has the flu. Sasha having the flu. You have everybody just killing zombies, and Tyreese almost not making it, like I just said. And then to cap off the episode, to end it, you have Rick saying, "Carol, kill Karen and David." That's one heck of an episode right there. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. This was a fantastic episode, 10 out of 10, guaranteed, no doubt about it. And yeah, guys, so I'll either see you guys later on today for another Walking Dead video, or tomorrow, depending on if I get the time to do another Walking Dead vid today. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys later.